No one would remember the Good Samaritan if he had had only good intentions. He also had money. His good intentions set him apart, but it is his money that made him a legend. Legal currencies such as cash and coins have held perceived value for as long as we can remember, but today perceptions are more valuable than they ever have been. How would you like to pay a quarter for a cup of coffee? Dream on. Values have changed. Our notions of value give fungibility to cash, so we are free then to go on to agree that 4 quarters equal $1, and we might go on from there to agree that $4 equals a cup of coffee. There's no accounting for taste, and neither is there any accounting for all the digital code being printed by the Fed. Clearly, cash and coins being the fungible, valuable tokens that they are, it's obviously a good reason for banks to want to take them from us. Clearly, cash and coins have been valued above many other mediums all along. The thought of gold as money has been prominent in people's minds for 6,000 years. Today's economy, where bills aren't backed by gold, nickels only have a few nickel atoms, and pennies have less than 2% copper, where's the value? It's all about digital code now, and the question of perceived value emerges when it comes to code. What's backing code? What's backing digital currencies of any form? I'd like to know. Message me. Question: what replaces cash? Numismatics know. Numismatics vary. One may be merely a coin collector, while on the other hand, gentlemen like Robert Hogue understand the history of coinage. He, along with others, may very well be in charge of the future of coinage. He was appointed to the Citizens Advisory Committee, informing the Secretary of the Treasury about the design, function, and the look, texture, and tangibility of cash. He was appointed some time back, and we've been following his career. Prior to his appointment to the Citizens Advisory Committee on Coinage, he was the president, the curator of the American Numismatics Association. It's a money museum. Is that where all cash is headed, to the museum? A money mausoleum? Is money going to become anachronistic? Money markets stridently wish to know. Meanwhile, the greatest urgency is felt by wage earners and other people who require cash to survive. Whatever the outcome of the unbanked people, they're going to lose their freedoms, their freedom of choice, mobility, opportunity to trade, engage in commerce. Even with an account and access to standard services like check cashing or wire transfer services, a cashless society for everyone isn't what everyone wants, and it never will be. Another question: is gold money? When called before the Senate to answer these questions, the Fed chairman, Bill Bernanke, froze. After an instant wherein it appeared that his life was flashing before his eyes, the word no emerged. He uttered it with supreme banality. Is gold money? No. After 6,000 years of using gold as money, something changed. Bill got the memo, but it came as a shock to the senators and probably to the rest of civilization. Gold may no longer be considered money, but it is still highly fungible. That is to say, its value can be readily converted into services, goods. Gold can also make a federal chairman say anything, even a bold-faced lie to United States senators. It may no longer be considered money, but it is still highly coveted and it is still an asset. There is no federal statute mandating that private businesses, a person, or an organization must accept currency or coins as payment for goods or services. Courts, however, have to. The taxman, according to law, has to accept cash or coins in payment. Cash simplifies the trade process for many, and we all prefer an easy point of access for trade, an easy point of purchase. But is digital code the answer? Gold, commodities, shares, dollar bills, and coins are all fungible mediums, but they're not all legal tender. A national currency is the legal tender of that nation. Each individual country determining what their national currency may be, excepting, of course, the monstrous euro, this transnational experiment, which has almost finished running its course across national boundaries and personal sovereignty. Legal tender is anything recognized by law as the means by which you can settle a debt, public or private. It's also the primary medium that you'd use for meeting any financial obligation, including tax payments, contracts, legal, fines, damages. When code becomes the tyrant king, however, creditors will be required to accept digital code as value. Legal tender is established by a statute which specifies the thing to be used as legal tender and the institution that is authorized to produce and issue it to the public. Neither your checks nor credit cards are legal tender. Bitcoin isn't a legal tender. Rest assured, however, that could change overnight. How does FedCoin sound? Today, Bitcoin hastens the decline of cash and the advent of FedCoin. Might as well be the demise of the dollar. Shall we now demonetize the dollar? I wouldn't proceed so quickly. Not all buyers are happy with digital code. Not all sellers prefer a cashless society. Neither are many numerous lawmakers and merchants pleased with this trend. Massachusetts, for example, has required businesses to accept cash for 40 years. New Jersey and Rhode Island have just signed on in recent years to require merchants and debtors to take cash. Cities such as San Francisco and Philadelphia and New York City require cash transactions, and fines for non-compliance are on the books, if not enforced. Present restrictions on cash transactions due to COVID have impaired trade and travel in degrees of magnitude no one ever has conceived of before. Indications are that the dollar will survive this pitching, heaving marketplace, but much worse for the wearer. Will it retain its current purchasing power both here and abroad? Certainly not. Let's halt this lemming-like rush into the digital divide.